Hello, welcome back to French Fries and Feelings. I am Justine,
Natasha.
and we are coming to you live from Podbean. Can you please tell the people what Podbean is?
So, Podbean is an app where we can record from. Normally, we are in studio recording, but due to technical difficulties and staffing and all the things, here we are. We're making it happen to put out another episode for everyone.
Coming to you live from my iPhone 16, and you are coming to us live from your.
Very old phone in my bedroom.
Okay, are we gonna get a new phone in 2025?
um, I don't want to say yes, but I don't want to say no either.
I believe in you. I feel like you can do it.
I can, I just don't want to.
That's fair. That's fair. Have you ever had an iPhone before?
No, and I don't want to.
Oh my god, brother! Why don't you want to come to the dark side?
Because I don't like it.
What is it about an iPhone that you don't
Like,
like?
I had an iPad from my old job,
Okay,
and I used it to, like, only video call, like, my dad.
that's fair.
That was it.
That's
Yeah,
fair.
everything else, I couldn't figure it out. It wasn't for me.
That's fair. I feel the opposite because I feel like Androids or Samsungs are way too complicated for me.
Really? That's how I feel about
Yeah.
iPhones. I feel like Androids are super easy and super simple.
So I had a Galaxy. I used to have Galaxies before I had iPhones, and it was very like customizable, but it was also like the fact that it was so customizable overwhelmed me, and I was like, okay, I think I need to get an iPhone. And because I was like so familiar because I already had an iPod Touch, shout out to iPods. What a legendary season of life. Wow. Wow. Love
I
you,
did have an
iPod.
iPod when I was in high school, but not an iPod Touch. Yes, I am dating myself, but still not my thing.
Okay, which did you have the iPod with the four buttons and the wheel?
Yep.
There you go.
Yep. Old as hell.
Oh man, I kind of wish we had iPods still.
FYI, everyone, this is not the topic of our episode. I promise.
No,
We
not
just
at all.
y'all
Not at
should
all.
know by now. We just talk about random shit sometimes. Sorry, not
All the
sorry.
shout out to iPods. Apple sponsor me because I just spent all my money on you. So, Miss Thing, what have you
hmm
been up to since our last episode? Because I feel like you may or may not have a tan.
I have the most amazing tan. I literally just landed last night from the beautiful island of Curacao.
Oh my god, yes, Queen. How was
Ah,
that?
it was amazing. Everyone was super nice, super friendly. Drinks were great, food was good. And then I was very, very sad when I woke up this morning and there was not a beach at my balcony. So yeah.
That would make me cry instantly.
Yeah. And
Instant
then I had to go
tears.
to work and put a coat on. I was just like, bro, I was just in 85-degree weather yesterday.
You went to work the day after landing from the Caribbean.
I did. Never again.
You are a better human being than me. Because the way I would never.
But funny story about when I got to work. And I have to share this because you're probably the only person and our listeners that will fully understand this, appreciate it, and laugh at how sad it is.
Okay, let's hear it.
So I'm going to backtrack a little bit. So about 2 weeks ago, one of my big bosses comes into our office, like where all the care managers are, and he's like, "Oh, on the 18th, last week, we're gonna have like something for social work month, so everyone needs to be in office, blah 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 blah." Cool. So that particular day is my colleague's work from home day. And because I was going away last week, I told her like she can switch her day with me since I'm obviously not going to be using it. Great, no problem. So she comes in on Tuesday, we're all there, and we're like, all right, where's our surprise? And my supervisor totally gaslights us on some, oh, I don't know what you're talking about. I wasn't aware. Mind you, the
Girl,
week
you know what
pri-
we talking about.
the week prior, the big boss is like, oh, I had a conversation with this person about what's happening, which is why we're doing it on the 18th. Cool. So we all leave it alone. We're like, whatever, it is what it is. Like, we're used to the bullshit already. Come in today, again, the day after I come in from vacation. But apparently, these little goodie bags that were left on our desk were done like Monday, I think it was. But my
So
coworkers
there
didn't,
is a gift.
yeah. But my coworkers didn't want to tell me anything because they literally wanted me to see it like firsthand. So I'm like, okay. So I come in and there's this cute little gift bag with like these cute little words on it. And I'm like, oh, awesome, later, whatever. Cool. I open the bag and I'm like, no fucking way.
Oh my god, what's in it?
In the bag are candies from like the little snack corner that we have in the office. Um, some like eye patch, eye mask things, like under eye mask, and
Obviously,
like
they're not branded, correct?
um, they're from Dollar Tree. Shout out to
Okay,
Dollar Tree.
shout out to Dollar Tree. Okay.
Right, but that's all it was. And then everything else in the bag, notepads, pens, um, like the little sticky thing that's trending now to put on the mirror to hold your phone, and lip gloss, all company branded. Like all the
Okay.
things that we have in the supply closet.
They said you need to represent.
But then they have like a little card and it said social workers survival kit.
That's you. That's
But
you. What we talked about in the last episode.
but wait, it says candy for a burst of energy. Lip balm because you're the bomb.
Love that.
Notepad to create a never-ending to-do list.
No, no, no,
And
no, no,
then
no, no.
wait, and then face mask for a moment of relaxation.
How am I gonna relax if I have a list that never ends?
Right. So I'm like, thanks, but no thanks. Like for all of that, I'm good. Like don't give me anything. Like I don't know. Maybe it's just me, but yeah,
You know,
that was my little
no,
gift for
no shade
social work
to
month.
your org, but this kind of feels like a tax write off. Like they
Yo,
had to spend some money before the end of the fiscal year, and they were like, "We're just gonna do all of this."
but they didn't spend no money because all this stuff is literally in our supply closet. Like the
Wait,
pens that I got and the
wait,
notepads that I have are sitting in my drawer already.
wait. So you're telling me that all the things that were in the goodie bag
Already exist in our office.
this entire time, I'm thinking that you're talking about
Like things that
like
they went and sourced out. No, it's stuff that we already had. Exactly.
no, that's pure laziness.
Right? So is it just me
No.
that's just like I don't want to seem ungrateful, but for all of that, I'm good. Like
Okay,
keep
no,
it.
no, 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 no. No, because you deserve better. And social workers deserve better. They
Yeah.
deserve employers that are going to actually be thoughtful about the gifts that they're giving during social workers month and not a
Right.
bunch of stuff that already existed in a supply closet and then you just throw in a bunch of candies that also already existed and a
Yes.
laminated card.
Yes. Okay, so it's not just
No.
me.
No, no, no. We'd have to fight. You're like you you could have for that you could have given me like a $15 gift card to Dunkin'.
Te
I would have been
digo,
more pleased with
like
that.
some of my other colleagues who are not within the care management team have all said the same thing. Like for all of that, they could have gave like 20, $25 to like Amazon or Starbucks or Dunkin' or Target or something.
Something.
Like literally there's only 3 of us in my department. 3 people.
Wait a minute.
Yes.
That just makes it worse.
Yeah. So if you even count like the other, because there's like branches of us. So I want to say max there's 3, 6, 9, max maybe 15 of us total. Yeah.
No, that's terrible. I'm so sorry. But also,
It's just funny to me because I'm just like, all right, cool. I just laughed it off. I was like, all right, thanks, I guess.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is
This
what
is
you
what they
don't do.
think of social workers or social people in social services. Like, this is what they think of us.
Not even that, but this is an example of what you don't do
Yeah,
as
seriously.
leadership in social services.
Yeah,
You don't make social workers or anyone who works in social services feel like an afterthought.
yeah.
We already
Or
are the
not even in social
afterthought.
services. Like, and if you're in leadership, period, and you want to recognize your team or your staff for all of the things that they do, regardless if there's like a special month dedicated to them, bro, just acknowledge the fact that they're busting their asses to get the job done and get your company to where it is now. Simple.
So, if you were leadership in social
hmm
work, how would you celebrate your staff?
Um, one, especially if it's like a small staff the way that we have, I'd, acknowledge or treat them to a lunch or breakfast on a particular day that is convenient for everyone. Two, actual gifts that are meaningful to either that individual person or get them things that are useful, not only in the office but in their everyday,
Mm-hmm.
or simply just asking, what do you want? This is your budget. Pick something.
Touche. Touche. It's simple.
Even if it was just a gift card or just like a small Trader Joe's bouquet of roses or flowers, I am
Ooh,
content.
we do love Trader Joe's. I
I
do.
love me some Trader
Does
Joe's.
Trader Joe's have gift cards?
They do.
Oh my god, my birthday's coming up, y'all. If you're listening, I'm turning 30. I want a bunch of gift cards to Trader Joe's for my birthday, May 27th, 2025. It's lit. I won't be in the country, but when I return, I will be getting buffalo chicken dip and it's going to be fantastic. Thank you very much. But
There you
yeah,
go.
yeah, that's sad. I'm so sorry.
It is what it is. What would you do if you were in that position? I mean,
Um
you are in leadership, so what would you do for your staff?
yeah, well, previously when I was a supervisor, I mean I technically am a supervisor still. Um but I'm more in like an admin role than anything.
hmm
I would love to like treat my staff to like coffee or like iced coffee just randomly, not like, oh, we're celebrating something and like I feel obligated to get you this. No, it was like, oh,
Right,
do you guys want iced coffee? I'm buying, and I would get people muffins and a bunch of stuff. And sometimes we'd go out to dinner. I'll order people lunch. It's not something that I did because we're celebrating something specific. It's because I it felt right. You know what I mean?
right.
Um, I did it out of the kindness of my social service heart. Because I know what it's like to work in this field and I know how frustrating it could be, especially after like hard days. It's
hmm
nice to know that one, you have a supervisor that's going through it with you and not letting you go through it by yourself.
Yeah,
I'm very, very big on that. And two, it's nice to know as well, like my supervisor knows that I had a hard day and she knows what I like. So that's what she got me. You know what I mean? Like
yeah.
I had a supervisee. I hate using that word, by the way. I had someone that I supervised previously who she loved almond croissants from this bakery near my old job, and like if we had a rough day the day before, I would like come into work the next day and like give her an almond croissant. Like, here you go, girl. Like, live
That's
your
what I'm
best
saying.
life.
Like,
You know what? Like,
it's the little things, and
it's
honestly,
always the little things.
the the phrase "thank you" sincerely goes a long way. Like, just
Yeah,
that little bit of acknowledgement goes a long way.
absolutely.
And I think people tend to forget that.
Speaking of leading, it is
hmm
International Women's History Month.
Woohoo!
How do you feel about this as a woman? Ill. Let me say that again. As a woman, because we don't need
um,
no man. No, I'm kidding.
um, I mean, I feel like we're empowered, amazing women every freaking day of the year.
Mm-hmm.
But
Mm-hmm.
to have some time to be acknowledged and praised and uplifted the way that we should be every day of the year feels pretty good. I mean, most companies or people in any organization, like they'll say it's Women's History Month, but then do nothing about it. Like they won't act on it.
Of course. Of course.
Yeah. But I remember in my previous role, us as the staff, again, not leadership, us as the staff took it upon ourselves to create something. And then we let leadership know, like, hey, this is what we're doing. And they just like jumped on the bandwagon and said, okay, well, whatever you need, just let us know.
Hmm. That sucks.
It does. However, I did appreciate that they didn't stop us from doing it.
Fair. Mm,
Yeah.
yes. I like that.
Yeah.
I do want to ask,
Hmm.
at what age, or do you remember when you found out that there was such thing as an International Women's History Month?
Oh
Because I'm
boy.
not gonna lie to you, I found out pretty late in life.
So did
Didn't
I.
even know it was a thing.
I can honestly pinpoint exactly when and how I found out about it. And I was either 29 or 30 when I found out about
Okay,
it.
then I don't feel as bad because I think I found out when I was in college.
Yeah. So for me, I think I found out at least 10 years ago. And I remember because I was working at a hospital downtown and I was coming in and there was like a group of people handing out tulips. And I was like, oh, free flowers, whatever. But then there was like
Love
a little
that.
card attached to it that was like very complimentary. And then it said like Happy International Women's Day. And I was just like, what the hell is that? So of course I ran to Google. I was like, oh shit, there's like a whole thing dedicated to my gender. So yeah, about 10 years ago.
I found out also probably around the same time because I had a friend in college who was born and raised in Eastern Europe. And he was like, "Oh, yeah, it's Mother's Day." And I was like, "What?" I was like, it's March. And he was like, "Yeah, it's International Women's Day." And I'm like, "Who the hell is that? And why did I not know? What what is going on?" So apparently in a lot of countries, March 8th, which is International Women's Day, is like
Hmm. A
Mother's Day
big
or
to
like just
do. Yeah.
yeah, like or like to celebrate women, mothers, important female figures in your life. And I felt hoodwinked, bamboozled that I did not know for the first 20 years of my life as being a woman. That I didn't know there was a day dedicated to me.
Right?
I was so perplexed that I had to Google and I was like, what the hell is this? Then I found out it was a whole month.
Hmm.
I didn't even know what I did with that information. But cuz I was so beside myself. And so now that I'm informed that this is a thing, I try and acknowledge it. I learn about the history of women. I try to celebrate myself. Even though you should celebrate yourself every day, it's very
Absolutely.
important. It's important to also acknowledge, what women have done for the world.
Oh,
Besides
countless
being
things.
beautiful and humorous and just living their best lives, what we contribute to the
We
world.
are amazing beings.
We are. We are. Okay? Do you know how stressful it is to be a woman? Do you know how stressful it is to be a woman and also a person of color?
Whew, preach.
Like, it is not fun. It is not for the faint of heart.
Mm-mm.
And not that I need you to pity me or anything, because I'm still gonna do what I gotta do anyways.
Because that's how we were freaking raised.
Amen. And speaking of that, who is the woman? that you feel made you who you are today?
I would definitely say the women in my family. Like, I can't say just one particular person because it, for me and my family, it definitely was like the it takes a village type of thing. So definitely like my mom and my aunts played a big role in my life. My grandmothers, I was fairly young when they both passed, but specific things in their lives have shaped certain things in mine.
Like what?
Um, so both of my grandmothers, paternal and maternal, were both housewives. However, they ran their households very differently. So I'm going to speak more on my paternal grandmother because I was 14 when she passed. My maternal, I was like 3. So I
Okay.
don't recall too much with her.
Okay.
Um, but my dad's grandmother was a very old, like her mentality was very old school traditional Puerto Rican woman.
Shout out to Puerto Rico. Woo!
Like la nena queda en la casa y cocina y limpia, those type of things. And I can remember I was, wow, maybe like 10 years old. And I am, at that time, I was the only girl on my dad's side of the family, like out of my cousins. So it's my older cousin, me, and then a bunch of boys after that. And my older cousin is also male. Um, and there was one summer we were in Georgia at my uncle's house, and all the boys were outside playing and, climbing trees and playing basketball, doing all the things.
All the things
And
that boys do.
right. So I was about to head out too. Like I had on my shorts and my t-shirt and I was going to go do what I always do with my cousins. And my grandmother was like, "You're wrong. We're going to go do the dishes. We're going to do the laundry." And I remember crying to my aunt, like my uncle's wife, and I was just like, "It's not fair. Like how come the boys can do this and I can't do this?" And she had to like explain to me at that young age like your grandmother's very old school and this is what girls are supposed to do in her eyes. So I just had to like suck it up and help her take care of the household. Now as an adult, I appreciate learning how to cook and cleaning and doing all the things. But also on the other side, it's kind of like, damn, the gender roles kind of suck. Like, how come the boys don't have to learn how to cook and clean? Like, those are basic necessities.
And most of them don't even know how to do it.
Right. Like, thankfully, my cousins were raised by my aunts as well. Like, nah, yeah, y'all, if y'all want to eat, y'all gotta cook. So they do know how to cook and clean and take care of themselves. But my grandmother was definitely that woman that was just like, the boys do this, the girls do that, and that's that.
Were there other instances where she kind of prevented you from doing what you wanted to do because she wanted you to have this stay at home housewife cook clean experience?
Um, None that I can remember, except for that particular summer that I can remember not being able to do the things that I was used to doing when I wasn't with her. Um, that was a that was the only thing that I can think of at that point. Um, but then, speaking with my aunt, who was her only daughter, she was kind of raised in the same manner.
So what kind of life did your aunt lead as an adult?
As an adult, she definitely took care of home, that's for sure. But she was also that boss babe. Like she worked, she was a single mom for a little while.
Hell yeah.
Um, she had her job, she had the 9 to 5. At one point she had her own business for a little while and
You got a
now
nine to
she
five and a business?
Right. So it's just
Oh,
like,
she's
she
the
did all the
bomb.
things that her mom raised her to do, but she was also able to maintain herself as well.
Mm.
Right.
Shout out to your aunt.
Shout out to her.
She is juggling multiple hats.
Oh, for sure. But that's
And
like
we
the
love to see it.
typical female thing to do. Like,
Yeah,
when are we
absolutely.
ever allowed to just be?
True. The question of the century, the millennium of this universe. When are women allowed to just be?
Don't know. But how about you? Like, what was it like for you
Oh,
growing up also in a somewhat traditional Puerto Rican household?
oh, tradition is an understatement. um, I would say my experience was a little different, and here's why. I think I've spoken about this on a previous episode about my grandmother and how she, was raised to be like a housewife and cook and clean and
Mm-hmm.
all of that. And then she got married and she was a housewife and she had two kids. And then her husband left her and she basically had to become a home health aide and like be a single mom.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think that when I was born into a household of three Puerto Rican women, right?
Mm.
My mom was a single mom. She had a sister that was 8 years younger than her. So me and my aunt are not very close in age, but a little close in age where it felt more like we were siblings.
Mm-hmm.
And my grandmother was like the head of the household. And I think that my upbringing has taught me that everything that I have, I want, I need to get myself
Yeah.
and to never depend on anyone to give it to me because when you depend on others, you can lose everything very quickly.
Mm.
And so, who I am today is kind of in reaction to what my grandmother experienced being divorced and a single mom, right? Um, and having to see and be raised in a household with the after effects of that. Having my mom who, no longer had a father, and my aunt who also no longer had a father, and like they want nothing to do with her, and having to kind of just help my grandmother figure it out,
Mm.
right? But even in the times where it was tough, we always survived. And so with that being said, everything in my life, my career, my education, everything that I have, I gave to myself. And
No,
I can never say that someone gave it to me.
very true. I have said the same things. Like, everything that I have, I've busted my ass for. And it was also that mentality of, if I want it, I get it. Because I was also raised by a single mom. Yes, my dad has been in the picture, and he had a hand in raising me, but my mom was the primary parent. So, have you ever heard that saying where it's like, when a person has a child, they are raising each other together?
Yes.
That's how I feel with my mom. Like, every phase of life, like, it was new for both of us at the same time. Like,
I agree.
so
Same.
seeing her get to this point of life where she's at now, like, she's experiencing it for the first time, and I'm experiencing it for the first time with her. And it's different now that I'm an adult, because I kind of just like, it's just a different type of experience. Like, if you have that mother daughter bond and relationship, like, you'll get it. Unfortunately, if you don't have it, I'm sorry. Um, but seeing how she struggled after my dad, and then after her second marriage, it's kind of like, yes, with that same mentality that you just said about, I went and got it myself. And I was going to ask you, because we have that similarity, do you feel that that's a hindrance to you because you have that I'll just do it myself.
Mm. That is a very loaded question. Let me. I was gonna say let me think, but I think I would say um, yes and no.
Hmm.
I think it depends on the situation. I think that I feel proud, right, to
Hmm.
say that everything that I have I gave to myself. But then there's also the element, excuse me, of or the part of me where I feel like what I have is not enough. Like
Hmm.
there's more that I have to do. And it's like the hustle mentality that I was raised in, that I
Hmm.
saw in these women that raised me, like there's no end point to it. And so I'm kind of like a Tasmanian devil of like
You
I
need to
need to
do
do
all the
this
things.
and I need to do all of the things.
Hmm.
Hence why I'm like getting a second master's degree and you know doing so many things at the same time. Um I think that it also doesn't allow me sometimes to feel proud about where
What
I
you have
am.
accomplished. Yes.
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 Where I am now is I could have never imagined I would be here 10 years ago. I was 10 years ago I was in college figuring out what the hell International Women's Day was. Like I would
Hmm.
have never thought in 10 years I would be, you know, in a supervisor for 3 plus years and like one and a half master's degrees and a professional like I would have never thought that this is the life that I would live, right?
Right.
But even when I sit here and I'm telling you all of this, it just seems like, oh, well, yeah, like that's a given. Like I'm supposed to have these things. Oh my
Right.
God, my dog. I'm supposed to have all of these things. Um, and there's more that I can probably do. So it kind of feels like, I don't know, like a never ending cycle of,
Of things to do.
yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm trying as a adult. I'm almost at a young adult. To me, I'm still a teenager, but you know,
Facts.
whatever. um, I'm trying in life to remind myself how far I've come. I actually saw I posted this on my Instagram yesterday. I don't know if you saw it, but it said it was a quote. It says, "You're doubting yourself while others are terrified of your potential." And to me, that clicks so deep because I always feel sometimes like maybe I could be better in my career, like in other aspects of my life,
Hmm.
not knowing that there are people who wish that they could be as driven as me or be where I am. And it's, it kind of makes you sit down and really be like, oh my God, like you really are a boss bitch.
Yeah.
Like people really, they say that to me, but like, do I actually believe it? Not all the time. So I'm working
Right.
on it.
Like, so I am a big reader, and I think it was last year, or the year before, I went on a tangent of reading like predominantly female authors or female authors of color. And I forget which book it was in, and it's probably been mentioned a million times throughout socials or on TV or whatever the case is. But it was something along the lines of when a woman is complimented, instantly, majority of the time, the woman will respond with something negative about herself. Like, we as women can't take the compliment.
But
Like for me,
why?
I can
Why?
always I can honestly say for myself, whenever I have ever been complimented, like, "Oh, your hair looks good today," I will instantly be like, "Yeah, but that's not how I wanted it." Instead of just saying thank you, or "Your dress is cute today." No, it doesn't fit right. I'd rather be wearing this, or like, why can't we just accept that we are amazing people? Why do we always find the negative or the flaws in us? So going back to what you said about, you know, you've done all these amazing things, but it's hard for you to just accept that you have done these amazing things. Like, you acknowledge it, you know that you did it, but you're seeking the next best thing because you don't know what's going to happen next. So why not just achieve it now? You know what I mean? So I
Yes.
feel like for me, I have that mentality because I, it's going to sound really bad the way I'm going to say it. I don't want to be where the women in my life have been.
Girl, you yes.
Like,
This feels like therapy.
that's what I'm saying because I remember having this conversation with my mom a few years ago actually, and I don't know what triggered this in my mind, but it hit me that I was just like, I am doing better than the generation prior, and my mom did better than the generation before that. So for me, like I started saying here, both of my grandmothers were housewives. Both of them were dependent on either a man or the government for assistance in any way, shape, or form. Nothing wrong with any of that. If that's the life you want to live or the life that you are living, do what you got to do.
Yes, girl, live your life, queen.
Cool. But I know for me, I cannot see myself going to my partner, my husband, and asking for money to do whatever it is that I need to do. Again,
Nope.
nothing against those women who are housewives, because believe me when I say being a housewife, either to no children or 20 kids, it's hard as hell running a household.
20 kids is insane. Cause
That's
like
very
one
excessive.
kid
But
is crazy, but
but I'm saying
plus
like that's
19?
hard. That's hard as hell. Running a household, whether you have children or not, is hard as shit.
That's true.
I will never take that away from anyone who does it, male or female.
Absolutely.
And it drives me bonkers when I hear women asking for money to cater to this household and their significant other questions it. Like, excuse me? Like, you do what they do for 48 hours and see how you maintain. Like, I know some women who are housewives or have been in that position, and they have literally said it's hard to ask their partner for money because it makes it seem like they're asking for like an advance on their paycheck, but how do you put a number on running your household? And I think that's been like the $1 million question forever.
I actually know kind of not that like I know them, but I wouldn't say that I actually know them. But I had a friend who her aunt was born in DR, born and raised in DR. She ended
Okay.
up moving to Switzerland. First of all, a lot of Dominicans in Switzerland. It's a thing.
Really?
Oh my god.
Didn't know
Yes.
this.
So many Dominicans in Switzerland and like northern Italy, like right at the
See,
border.
now I gotta go
Yeah, you
over
gotta
there.
go. Yes. So she, established her life in Switzerland. Um, she, I believe, was married and then got a divorce. She had a daughter out of that marriage, and then she got married again to like this rich Swiss man. And they had a son. And when we went to visit her, her husband was driving like a brand new Range Rover, and she's driving like an old beat up Mitsubishi. And we're
Mm-mm.
just like, there's something wrong here. Because you live
Yeah.
on a vineyard and like basically a chateau, and you're driving this old car while he's driving a Range. Like, what's going on? Come to find out that he is the kind of person where his money is his money and your money is your money. I'll
Mm.
provide you with a house. You're obligated to take care of my son. But if you want a new car, you have to get it yourself.
Wow.
It was so bad that she obviously was retired and she had like a pension of some sorts. I don't really know how it works in Switzerland.
Mhm.
And her mother, who was living in DR and she had, I think, dementia, needed 24-hour care. And home health aides don't exist in the Dominican Republic, just in
Correct.
case anyone was curious. So if you do have someone that's taking care of your family member who's elderly or disabled, you're paying them out of pocket.
Mhm.
So she had to pay for that herself. So she was only getting maybe like $2,000 a month from her pension and like, retirement, and
Mhm.
1,400 of that was going to DR every month to pay
Oh my
for
god.
the round the clock care for her mother. So he never was like, you know what, your mom's older and you did so much for me, you're my wife, I want to take care of you, here, let me help you, or let me just pay for it myself. No, absolutely not.
Wow.
She had to pay for that herself, to the point where she would have to ask him for money to go places or ask him for money to do things. But if she wanted to do something for herself or buy herself something, she would have to pay for herself. And this is a woman who stopped working to take care of their son and to their household.
Mm-mm.
Mm.
No.
Hell
None of your
no.
stuff.
Hell no. See, this is why I am the way I am. Because you not about to tell me that I am driving a Mitsubishi and you're driving a brand new Range Rover. Hell no. I will pop
Right.
all your tires.
Like, I'm all for like separate bank accounts, but then there should be, in my opinion, that one joint account for household things, emergencies, like
Absolutely.
for example with that example that you just said with her mom, like that should be like a thing. I that's just me. That's my personal opinion.
But I also think it comes from a place of like, if the tables were turned, right?
Right. But do you also
We
think it could be like a cultural thing?
that's and that's a separate episode. That is the next episode of French Fries and Feelings. Because let me tell you, being a Hispanic woman is a wild experience. It
Mm,
completely changes the way that you look at the world. It changes the way that you move in the world, the way you act. Obviously, the way we're raised, right? Because we basically
mm-hmm.
talked about that all of this entire episode. It, there's so much that we give, right? And
Yeah.
we don't expect to receive anything in return.
Yes.
And so
Like
where's
I
the
I
balance?
just had that conversation with someone. It's just kind of like, and I think we kind of touched on it a few episodes back with you when we were saying how you give and do so much for others, and it's not like we expect that in return, but we kind of do to an extent, and we don't get it, and it's very disheartening.
Yeah, it's hard. It's hard to be us. Um, no shade to the men, because it is hard to be a man as well.
Absolutely.
I don't want to engage in misandry, because it's equally as hard, right?
Yeah.
There's certain struggles that men have to go through that we will never understand.
Big facts. I would love to hear the male perspective of being a black and brown man in this world or in the professional world.
I have a few friends who are not in social services, but just men who are dying to get on this podcast and talk about what it's like to be a man in America.
That would be a great conversation because there are so many topics to touch on.
Yeah. But shout out to men. We love you and all that you do. And shout out to all my boss bitch ladies, who are just killing the game and living their
Yes.
best life any way that they can.
Abso-freaking-lutely.
Well, this was a semi success on Podbean. Podbean sponsor us, please. Oh my god, please. We gotta invest in like fancy mics for our phones in the event that we have to do this again.
Yeah. We just gotta do all of the things because We are never satisfied,
We're not. We're not. And
which
we're
is
just going to
why
keep not
we
being
are
satisfied.
we are getting degrees and better career paths and doing all the side hustles
Yup.
because we need all the monies.
All the monies. All of it. I want all the money. What did
Facts.
Cuba Gooding Jr. say? Show me the money. Yeah, that's me. Okay.
We are our dog snack dealers, so we have mouths to feed.
Yes, because my dog, first of all, she just turned 4 months. What a precious
Oh,
angel she is.
baby.
She's freaking huge. Okay. I don't know how big my golden doodle puppy is gonna get, but she's getting pretty big.
Oh
So
no.
yeah, so I'm gonna need some more money so that I can afford all the toys and the bones because she expensive, and she's getting vaccines on Saturday, and that's more money. So
Ooh.
listen to her
Word, because
podcast.
I just discovered recently about dog cardiology and
I'm sorry, what?
neural. Yes, I had to take my dog to the cardiologist, which was
Girl,
not cheap
what?
at all.
He on? Is he on blood thinners? What's going on?
He's a little old man.
He is an old man. He's so cute.
He a little old man. So, but ain't nothing wrong with him. And I learned that through the cardiologist. That again was very expensive. So
Well,
yeah,
the
everybody
life of a
listen so that
woman.
we can get monies. Thank you.
Please, for our dogs, not even for us.
Facts,
For our dogs. The
which
three
again
dogs.
ties us back to women can't just be. All
Satisfied. We just
right,
can't be satisfied. We just can't live. We just can't. We just
can't do
can't.
nothing.
That's it. Everything we do is for our dogs or for other people.
Ugh.
Anyways, thank you for listening to our TED Talk on how hard it is to be a woman. um, maybe next episode we won't talk about how hard it is to be a woman, but it's always hard anyway, so it
Can't
doesn't
make any
really matter.
promises.
No promises. And we didn't bring French fries this time because we're home, and I'm not gonna lie to you, I'm laying in the middle of my bed, so I wasn't gonna get up and get French fries.
That part.
Well, thank you for listening, Natasha. Thank you so much for all that you do at work, even though your job doesn't
Oh,
acknowledge you. You are a queen. Um,
oh, thank
Boss
you.
bitch,
So are you.
LMSW. Don't forget. And you deserve a Trader Joe's gift card.
So do you.
Thank you. I'm doing my best.
Okay.